When police officers stop a suspected drunk driver, they usually ask the driver to take a field sobriety test. It's actually 3 tests intended to give officers indications about the driver's level of impairment, and police say the tests work. But Channel 2's Richard Belcher found out some critics say the tests are designed for the drivers to fail. Richard.
Georgia drivers are not legally required to take a field sobriety test, but what we wanted to explore is whether they work, whether they in fact provide valid evidence of a person's ability to drive. On that point, there is sharp disagreement. The tests are used by police all over the country.
Nothing to drink tonight?
Walk slowly, putting one foot directly in front of the other. Stand, holding one foot off the ground. And the test where the driver is asked to follow an object with his eyes. Police like them.
You can tell within a few minutes in doing the 3-test battery whether or not somebody is impaired by alcohol and or drugs.
I would never recommend anyone take the field sobriety test.
But not Dr. Spurgeon Cole.
When you fall, the tip of my pen with just your eyes.
He's a retired psychology professor at Clemson University.
Okay, you ready to go?
An expert in the study of measurements.
Each step I want you to try to touch your heel to your toe.
And a skeptic about the value of field sobriety tests.
It's designed to fail. There are no norms. So there is no average score. We have no idea what the average person can do with a one-leg stand and a heel to toe.
Dr. Cole says he's been studying the validity and reliability of these tests for decades. He's convinced they are neither reliable or valid.
If you use all 3 of them, do them right, you're only 26% better than chance. 74% as much error as you would be if you just randomly guessed.
Dr. Cole says the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which developed the tests in the 1970s, conducted one study in which trained police officers viewed field sobriety tests, then incorrectly identified 47% of the drivers as intoxicated. But police are certain the tests are accurate.
All 3 tests or validation studies have been proven over 90%. If the 3-test battery is done and interpreted correctly, then you make a correct arrest decision.
The best thing to do is to politely say, no thank you, I don't want to try to do those.
A lawyer for 35 years, Bubba Head is known as one of the best DUI defense lawyers in the country. Don't be tempted, he warns, just because the field sobriety tests seem so simple.
The people get out there and suddenly they find that the road has rocks, glass, pebbles. They got a tractor trailer coming by at 70 miles an hour on the interstate, and they can't believe that they're standing out there.
Critics like Bubba Head and Spurgeon Cole contend that officers rarely employ the tests to conclude that a driver is not impaired. But Larry Hannawalt of Mothers Against Drunk Drivers disputes that.
Watching officers in the past at roadside sobriety checkpoints, people have done the field sobriety tests, and the officers have thanked them and let them go on their way.
I've probably stopped and done field sobriety evaluations probably more than 4,000 times in my career and have made less than 1,000 DUI arrests.
Again, the field sobriety tests are not mandatory in Georgia, but a blood alcohol test, it is mandatory. Tomorrow at 5, what happens if you refused a blood alcohol test? Our Whistleblower 2 investigation found that if you're stopped by one local police department, you are probably in